Thank you. The next piece the kids are going to sing is called The Prayer. You might recognize it, and for all the Italians, hope our Italian is correct. And the next piece will feature the boys. We have a guys choir at Cora, and the song is called The Impossible Dream. And now for a lighter one, some you'll be familiar with, Sweet Caroline, if you'd like to sing out. I know it's a fun day today for you, so if you want to join in, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Sault College Convocation Ceremony. I just did a few talking points before we get started, which will just be in a couple minutes. Please make sure your cell phones are on mute so not to disrupt the ceremony. When taking pictures of your graduates, we have an area right over here. When your graduate is pulled up into line, then you can make your way over to this picture-taking area. If there's a lot of people standing there, there's seats right there that you can sit on so you're not standing in front of other people. If you need to leave once the ceremony starts, everyone from this row over can go use these doors, and the bathrooms are right across the hall. These people, please use these doors, just so the graduates aren't getting tied up. After the ceremony is done, we're going to have a reception in the Common Link. Our culinary staff have prepared some appetizers for us. And that's it. We'll be starting in a moment. Thank you.
That's your seat. Good morning, everyone. Under the authority granted to me by the Province of Ontario and the Sault College Board of Governors, I hereby declare this convocation to be open for the awarding of degrees, diplomas, and certificates.
Welcome, everyone. Please join in the singing of our national anthem. Please be seated. Now, the choir will send our graduates off with a dedication song.
I'll say goodbye.
Thank you so much for that wonderful song. My name is Colin Kirkwood. I am the Vice President, Academic and Research at Sault College. On behalf of everyone at the college, I welcome each and every one of you to this convocation ceremony. Thank you for joining us today. We will be hearing from a few speakers with messages to share with you as you graduate. We will then present degrees, diplomas, and certificates to each of you, our most recent graduates. We send appreciation to all staff and volunteers who helped make today possible. Very well done, and thank you. We like once again to extend our thanks to the Chorister Choir, Tyler Duncan, the Lone Piper, the Abajuan Singers, and the Bawading Community Jingle Dress Dancers for their presence here today. At this time, I would like to introduce the members of the Platform Party. As I call your name, please stand and remain standing. Marilyn King, Dean, Health and Community Services. Carly Campbell, Registrar. Brian Punch, Retiree Representative. Ted Recolec, Elder. Jonathan Nolan, SCSU President. Cecilia Bruno, Chief Financial Officer. David Zaccato, Chair, Sault College Board of Governors. Dr. Ron Common, President. Joni McGuffin, Keynote Speaker. David Orzetti, Dean, School of Aviation, Trades and Technology, Natural Environment and Business. Sherry Smith, Chair, Natural Environment, Business, Media and Culinary. Laurie Crossan, Chair and Program Manager, Continuing Education. Thank you. I would also like to welcome and recognize special guests in attention today. David Marasco, Registrar, Algoma University. Dr. Lorraine Frost. Laurie Burrows, Director, Enrollment and Financial Services. And Penny Perrier, Public Relations and Event Management Advisory Committee member. Thank you. I would ask the faculty members here with us today to stand and be recognized by the graduates and their families. I would personally like to thank the faculty for their hard work and dedication over the past year. Your efforts have made today's celebration possible and will certainly contribute to the success of our graduates. Our first speaker today is Dr. Ron Common, President of Sault College. He holds a PhD in Educational Administration and over the years has helped the college prosper more than ever before. His achievements include growing enrollment at the college and securing funding for many recent buildings, including IE3, the Institute of Environment, Education and Entrepreneurship, the Franklin Prowse Waterfront and Tennis Center, and the Early Childhood Education Center. In 2014, he received the Order of Ontario for his outstanding contribution to education. Dr. Common?
Good morning, everyone. As Sault College signed a National Indigenous Education Protocol with the Indigenous communities, and we are on the traditional territories, the lands of the Anishinaabe people, we wish to recognize them, and as a result, we've infused aspects of Indigenous culture into our convocation this morning, as you'll see later. Graduates, guests, family, friends, as president of the college, I want to welcome you to today's celebration of Convocation 2018. This is a wonderful opportunity to acknowledge your achievements as a graduating class, and the best day of the year to be the president of Sault College, and both the faculty and myself and the administration, we love to see our students succeed. So this is a great day. Thank you to all of you who are here today. It's a pleasure to welcome you, your family, your friends, some of whom have traveled from out of the province and even out of the country. At Sault College, we pride ourselves on providing a personal touch. So you're going to see informality today. And so some of you have children and they act up. Don't worry about it. We just know they're our future students. In trying to make the convocations personal, we have scheduled 4 graduation ceremonies. We used to do this with 2 ceremonies. But we wanted to make sure every graduate got the recognition they deserve. So graduates, take your time when you cross the stage. Enjoy your moment. Get that killer picture you're looking for. Now, there's some debate about the best vantage for the picture. Some people think it's on this side when your graduates get presented with the Lear pipe. I personally think it's when you get your diploma from your colorful president. But our keynote speaker today can be the arbitrator of this, and we'll ask her at the end of the ceremony because she's a professional. Graduates, you can take great pride in your accomplishment today with this public recognition of a job well done. Today's your day, and you should be justifiably proud of it. But I'm sure you recognize that you have not succeeded on your own. As is the tradition at Sault College, I would like all the graduates to rise, turn, face your family, your parents, your partners, your friends, and applaud them for the support they gave you over the years. Graduates, please rise. Thank you. Graduates, I know you know this, but I can't resist telling you one last time. I know that you know you're graduating from a great college, the top college in the province in terms of student satisfaction. We've been the top 2 for 6 straight years. We're the national gold medal winner for the leading college in Indigenous programming and services. So provincial reputation, national reputation. But now we're focusing on an international reputation. At Sault College, we're involved in projects in Barbados, in Africa, and in China. I'd like to show you a brief video of one of our projects in Tanzania, Africa. This was shot by our digital film students, Patrick Tucker, Daniel O'Brien, and with editing from Harry Ramesh, all of whom are graduating this morning. This film is specifically designed to encourage women to enroll in the trades and technology programs in Tanzania. Show the film, please.
Advise some other girls who are looking at me right now, they should come and join and take science subjects because it's very interesting and I'm so proud to be a scientist now. I'm very so proud.
It's very important for girls to get involved because as we know that both males and females are equal.
I don't know about you, but I'm inspired by that. This is a federally funded project that involves Sault College administrators, professors, and even students going to Tanzania and working with 2 colleges to develop trade training programs. As part of the project, Tanzania professors and administrators have spent time at Sault College, and they're coming again next week, actually. As well, our nursing students at Sault College did practicums in Tanzania and also Nicaragua. Life-altering experiences, I'm sure, for them. Now, the point that we've shown you this film is we want to tell you that in Tanzania and in many other countries, there's only free primary education. After that, only a minority of the population can continue, and only the wealthier families can afford to get a post-secondary education. In many countries, there's a sharp drop-off in enrollment in secondary school, and even more so in post-secondary, especially for women. So in many countries, if you're poor, if you're disadvantaged, or if you're a woman, it's unlikely you will get an education. In China, where we have projects, in many areas of China, there's only post-secondary places for about a quarter of the graduating high school students. 2 weeks ago, I was in the Balkans, in Bosnia and Serbia. These are war-torn countries that had a decade of interrupted schooling for their young people. Changing the access to education is so important. Education is the foundation for democracy. Education creates people who are critical, analytical thinkers and gives people the means for independence and self-sufficiency. Thus, most totalitarian and dictatorial regimes view education as dangerous. Such governments don't want free-thinking, critically educated populace. So those autocratic governments control access to education. Years ago, I was involved over a number of years with projects in Malawi, Africa. And Malawi, Africa had a dictator, Dr. Banda, who created all sorts of obstacles to education. To them, education was dangerous. To us, it's a liberating experience. The point of showing the video is, in contrast to Tanzania, at Sault College, with our commitment to access, we have equity in our enrollment, 50% male, 50% female. We have between 20 and 25% Indigenous students enrolled, and 30% of our students are first generation, the first people in their families to get a post-secondary education. I'm the first person in my family to get a post-secondary education, and so I know the parents in the stands and in the back of the room, how proud you feel watching your graduate graduate. So I commend you on taking advantage of the post-secondary opportunity provided to you that's denied to people throughout the world. Please don't take this gift of education for granted. In the future, at an appropriate time, after you've gained work experience, I would encourage you to pay back by reaching out to help others through taking apprentices, helping healthcare students with practicums, helping early childhood students with student teaching placements, mentoring others, whatever is appropriate in your chosen field. And eventually, graduates, hire your fellow alumni from Sault College. Northern Ontario has many challenges, and based on the announcements yesterday, I feel that education is part of the solution that's in this community. Research has shown with a better educated populace, individuals will have better health, practice healthier lifestyles, and there'll be a lowering of crime statistics and a higher quality of life. Studies have shown that in communities that have suffered significant economic challenges, such as ours, the ones that do recover have local colleges. Companies, businesses, industries considering opening up in a community like Sault Ste. Marie want to know that there's a local skilled workforce. A number of prospective companies have come to Sault Ste. Marie, and they always come to Sault College, and they always meet with us to talk about our students. I think the 1,000 graduates today and yesterday that we graduate will go a long way to providing that necessary workforce. In conclusion, graduates, I want to say that everyone is talking about innovation, technology, artificial intelligence, disruption. But I want you to know that armed with your diploma, you have the real intellect. You can be the real disruptors. Go out and change the world. Make the world the way you want to see it. May your future be filled with great things. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Dr. Common. It's my pleasure now to welcome David Zaccato, the chair of the Sault College Board of Governors. He is our next speaker. David is a volunteer and a leader in our organization. Mr. Zaccato? Thank you.
Members of the Platform Party, graduates, guests, faculty, and staff. On behalf of the Sault College Board of Governors, I'm honored to extend to you my congratulations on the graduating class of 2018. It is with pride that I congratulate all of you on this significant accomplishment and treasured moment in your lives. At Sault College, Convocation is the most important event of our year. It marks a celebration of excellence at which talent, hard work, and distinction are acknowledged and rewarded. The diploma you will receive is an acknowledgement of your commitment and passion to learning. The post-secondary education you receive from Sault College provides you with a future filled with lots of opportunities. At Sault College, the success of our students is fundamental to our existence. So upon graduation, we want our students to say the following: I get the education I want and more. The people here are great. It is worth coming here. The experience changed my life. We are in the business of transforming lives through empowering those who study with us to think, learn in progressive and innovative ways, including those we have not yet imagined. We believe and hope that you found this, and nothing speaks more directly to how well we're doing our job than the alumni we send out into the world, because you really are our true ambassadors. The knowledge that we are making a difference in the lives of our students is what gives our work meaning and energizes us to continue to build on our successes. Know that you made a difference during your time here, and you will make a difference wherever you are and wherever you go. Graduates, I have the confidence in the training that you have received. I have confidence in the institutions that help facilitate your education. The Board of Governors of Sault College wishes you continued success in the years ahead. As you go forth, keep in touch and continue to share your successes with us. I would like to leave you with one last thought. Graduates, never stop learning, because life never stops teaching. Congratulations, and may your future be filled with success. Miigwech.
Thank you, Mr. Zaccato. I would now like to welcome our keynote speaker, Joni McGuffin. Joni is a Canadian explorer, public speaker, educator, and one of the founders of the Lake Superior Watershed Conservancy, as well as its executive director. She is the author of 8 books with her husband, Gary. Their first photographic book, Superior, Journeys on an Inland Sea, chronicled their 3-month 1989 circumnavigation of Lake Superior by canoe. Between adventures, the McGuffins are ambassadors of the wilderness, touring the world through speaking events, photo expositions, book tours, ecotourism development, and educational seminars on conservatism. In 2000, the Ontario government officially appointed Gary and Joni as champions of the coast under the Great Lakes Heritage Coast Program. In 2003, they were recipients of the Premier's Award and the Queen's Golden Jubilee Medal for Wilderness Preservation and Environmental Education Achievements for their province and the country. Please join me in welcoming Joni McGuffin.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, staff and faculty all the wonderful guests, special guests, the families that are here, and most particularly the graduates. I was a graduate of an Ontario college oh so many years ago, and that lovely introduction, Colin, I have never, although I do public speaking a lot, I do it with a lot of Gary's wonderful images, talking about our journeys. I've never had the honor of getting up in front of a group of graduates, and I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I would reach back to my college days, but I wanted to go even a little bit further back than that. I wanted to start when I was 6. When I was 6, I remember this one first thing about learning to ride a bicycle. I'm sure that most of you had that experience where your parents run along beside you trying to keep you from falling on the ground. And so my mom had been doing that for weeks. And I was standing at the side of the curb in Thornhill where I grew up, my foot on the curb, waiting for my mom to come. And all of a sudden, without any encouragement from anywhere, my foot just pushed off from the curb and I started pedaling like heck. My feet were pumping and I was riding up Grandview Avenue and around Henderson Avenue and down Ahmed Avenue and all these places that I had walked with my mom and gone with my family, but never on my own. I arrived back about 10 minutes later, making this circle. My mom, rather frantically looking up and down the street, wondering where on earth I had gone. But seeing me pulling in, red and panting with excitement, she smiled and just gave me a hug. That was a really important moment for me, I realized, because it acknowledged that we have all within us, like from our earliest years, this sense of adventure, this sense of jumping into something, almost without thinking sometimes. And I think you're particularly at that age where it's really important to sometimes do that. Yes, we need to plan. Look, I remember yesterday some things like it was just yesterday, and many I've forgotten now. When I left high school, I hadn't a clue what I was going to do. My mom and dad were kind enough to let me spend many days, several weeks in fact, just going for long walks every day with our dog in nature. We had all kinds of trails and so on where I lived. And I found that connection with nature that I had grown up with a father that would take me into the woods and uncover rocks and look at the bugs underneath, my mom that would dig in the garden with me, acknowledging just that water that we would go to in the summer and go swimming and learning to put a paddle in the water and paddle a canoe. I was fortunate to grow up with those opportunities, but those connections to nature that gave me that foundation gave me a courage when I least felt it at the age of leaving high school, where I had no direction. I didn't know what I was going to do. All my friends around me seemed to have plans of post-secondary education, where they were going to do all these wonderful courses they were going to take. The only thing that seemed to be in front of me was the idea of going out into nature. I wanted to spend my days in the outdoors. But how on earth I was going to make a living, I had no idea. And so, when I got up at my high school graduation, I was terrified because everyone had the next place they were going to, a seeming important plan, what they were going to do with their life. And my physics teacher said to me, "Just tell them the truth, Joni." So I got up there and I said, "Well, I'm working at John Shahalani's BP, and I'm raising enough money to take myself to the Arctic." And that is what I felt at that time, what I was going to do. I raised that money, but in the process of working at Jean's BP, learning about his life in Lebanon and the hurdles and incredible challenges that he had faced in his life, while pumping gas and meeting people and just being in this simple job and earning this money, I got this catalog in the mail wasn't from Sault College, it was from Seneca College, but I read about an outdoor recreation technology program. Oh, this was it. This is what I would take. And so I enrolled in the 2-year program at the King City campus. We learned many wonderful things. It was a platform for jumping out into life to figure out a way to make a living in the outdoors. But the best thing I got out of college was meeting my husband of 35 years now, Gary. And when we left college together, I'm going to use the example of some of our journeys as a way to say that, you know, life's like this big journey, but there's a beginning, and it's a circle. And I discovered that it wasn't like we were aiming for the end of the journey, but one of the very first things we did together was Gary wanted me to walk the Appalachian Trail with him from Georgia to Maine. When he asked me, I said, "Sure, where is it? What is it?" I answered with a yes, I wanted to go. I had never even been on a backpacking trip before. This was a 5-month commitment to walk from Georgia to Maine on a trail. When we set off on that trail, I learned really quickly that it was about putting one step in front of the other. You certainly weren't thinking about the end of this journey, and all kinds of things would happen along the way. There were many times when I thought I would give up. Gary would bring out the M&Ms and start hiding them at moments like that. And then we would meet someone. We were meeting people along the way. We were learning about this physical geography of the backbone of these mountains as a population of people that lived in these places, the geography that connected us. But there's this growing kind of feeling that we wanted to explore this landscape we'd grown up in a big way, in a canoe, what we love to do. And so came about a journey to explore the country from the Atlantic to the Arctic Ocean on a 2-year voyage. Again, when we set out to do this, it wasn't that you just jump into that new job, that new career, that new next step in post-secondary education or that next job, that would be it. There would be planning involved. And all that weeks and weeks of planning leads to the opportunity to build inside of you a total commitment to something. So in your 2 years, I believe it's been 2 years at Sault College, you've worked very hard. And you've not looked at the end so much as each day you've got that next class, or you've got that next test, or you've got that next paper you're going to write. And you've got that kind of dream in the distance. So we set off in this canoe, and we put one paddle stroke in front of the other, making our way across the country. When we arrived on the Arctic Ocean, we had learned about the geography of our landscape connected by the water, connected by rivers and lakes that connect to oceans, and we made really a lifetime commitment to ourselves that what we really wanted to do was, yes, we wanted to be in the outdoors, but we wanted to speak for this beautiful planet that we live on. How exactly, again, we were going to make a living with that, we weren't sure. Gary carried a camera with him. He was sure that I would be able to write books. I was terrified of writing. Just like I'll say today, this is getting up here and talking to you today felt kind of terrifying too. When you sit down and you plan out a journey, when you sit down and you take all your notes from a journey and decide you're going to write a book, when you're going to do any big project in your life, you just have to make it in pieces. And there were many times in which we have given up on those 8 books because I had no training to write books. I actually had a process where I would write little pieces of writing and I would put them all over the floor and I would piece all these little things together. It was like a huge puzzle, and it took months and months and months of pulling all these little tiny stories together and all the photographs and telling the stories. These long journeys, they are broken down into opportunities to connect with particular wild places and ecosystems that sustain our lives. Collaboration and cooperation is one of the greatest things that I have learned from being out in nature. We have only to spend time quietly, take out our earbuds, turn off our cell phones, and spend a bit of, and I won't say silence because nature is full of its voices, but to listen to our own heartbeat, our own breath, stop and slow ourselves down long enough to find our own courage, our own sense of self, which is one of the most important things we can find in life, and nature can help us do that. Being out in nature has taught me that one of the most fundamental connected things that we have, if I asked you all now to hold your breath till the end of my speech, you would not be thinking for very long about what I'm saying at all. You would be thinking about the next breath you're going to take. We all share the air in this room. I was handed a bottle of water before I got up here. This fresh water is contained in our bodies and all life on this planet for all time. That the water here is the same water that went through the dinosaurs, that was here on Earth 100,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, yesterday. In Lake Superior today, 200 years later, a drop that flows down through the St. Mary's and out into the Atlantic and gets picked up and carried by the clouds. This incredible substance of fresh water connects us all. Our bodies are made up of 75% water. So whenever you feel that, somehow, you don't know that next direction in life that you're going to take, go out into nature. Go out and take a little bit of time to be underneath the trees. In the spring here, in Algoma particularly, the trees are alive. They are alive just like us. We are not nouns, we are verbs. We are flowing all the time with our genes, we're always sort of sloughing off ourselves, our physical selves, and rebuilding ourselves. We do that all without thinking, even knowing it's happening. When you're out there underneath the trees, you start to see them, especially in the spring, when the water is flowing through the earth, that these are vertical rivers through which the sap is flowing, and we can tap and we can get that sap and we can enjoy it. But it stops us from thinking of trees as an entity by itself. You see a moose, and it's not an entity by itself. It's all the land that supports it, the food that it eats, the water it drinks, that ecosystem it's living within. And so we too are living within an ecosystem of our most immediate family. Appreciate your family. Appreciate your friends. Appreciate the people that are around you that support you. You're in an ecosystem. You're not alone. You're not ever alone. Appreciate that we are connected to the larger world out there. I'd like to end, I guess, on a little thing that I used to tell our daughter when she was young, and maybe this sounds silly, but I always love this feeling. Whenever I'm feeling like really unsure about what I'm going to do next, what step I'm going to take, I feel myself anchored on the earth. I mean literally. Like, plant your feet. Plant your feet firmly on the earth. Whether it's concrete underneath you or it's real earth underneath you, in which a cubic foot contains 1 million microorganisms that we don't even know about their lives. You're anchored on this earth that's whirling 600 miles an hour. All of us right now are riding on the surface of this. And beneath us, drill down, look down beneath your feet, and imagine yourself going right through the center of the earth And when we pop out on the other side, we're in the middle of the Australian Ocean. You're 1,500 miles from Australia. Today, right now, in this moment, this is the reality of our place. Truth is hard to find these days, and I encourage you to go out in life and find the sources in which you find information. It's a complicated world right now, in a lot of misinformation, a lot of sources that aren't credible. And one of the greatest strengths you'll have is use nature, use the people you trust around you to make your decisions based on good information. I would like to end by really congratulating all of you on your journey through college. Your journey through life will be many and varied pathways. It's a circle amongst all of the people you touch. Be kind to yourself. Be generous with others. Be appreciative of those that help you along the way. And never think you need to have a solid path from one place to another. It will change over and over and over again. Thank you.
Thank you, Joni, and thank you to all of our speakers. And now, for the presentation of Lear Pipes, certificates, and diplomas. I ask that the members of the platform party responsible for this part of the ceremony please approach the front of the stage, and that students prepare to line up as directed by the marshals. To my left is where the graduates will be approaching the stage to receive their certificates and diplomas. Family and friends who wish to do so may move to the photograph area to the left of the stage. When you see your graduate rise to get into line, please make your way to the photograph area via the rear of the gymnasium. I would request that the assembly hold their applause until each group of graduates from the School of Aviation, Trades and Technology, Natural Environment and Business has been called. Graduates and guests presenting the Lear Pipes to the graduates are David Orizzetti, Dean, Sherry Smith, Chair of Natural Environment, Business, Design, and Lori Crossan, Program Manager. Presenting the certificates and diplomas is Dr. Ron Common, President of Sault College.
The following graduates have completed study in the business program. Sandeep Kaur. Paolo Campione. Catherine DeGuire. Bernice Nanang. Jocelyn Elizabeth Orr, distinction in the business program, Honors Business Accounting Program, and Professional Bookkeeper Program. Yusra Ruju. Amanda Stitt, Honors. Danielle Wilding. The following graduates have completed study in the Business Accounting Program. Mario DeMarco, Professional Bookkeeper. Joshua Vena, Professional Bookkeeper Program. The following students have completed study in the Business Management Program, Shasta Musgrove.
The following graduates have completed study in the Office Administration Executive Accelerated Program. Victoria Joya. Victoria Johnson with distinction. Sarah McCaslin. Ashley Smith. Amanda Sorrenti with honors. Ryan Duncan Walker, Human Resources Practices Program.
The next group of students have achieved many things this year. They have raised over $10,000 for local communities in our beautiful city of Sault Ste. Marie. It is my great honor to announce to you today the Public Relations and Event Management class of 2018. Gurmanjeet Kaur. Navdeep Kaur. Navneet Kaur. Haroon Nasir Butt. Dharma Churaman. Kevin Edward Walter Collar. Kulwinder Kaur. Roshna Robin. Jarrett William Simsession.
The following graduates have completed studies in the Culinary Management Program. Zachary Nadeau. Christiana Linda Emma Putzold. Tyler Senden. Mike Siegfried. Mike Warwick.
The following graduates have completed study in the digital film production program. Prince Prasad George. Matthew Davish. Gage Gaudette. Michaela Huckerby. Craig Malcolm Blacklaws McDonald, honors. Daniel O'Brien. Troy Robinson.
The following graduates have completed study in the graphic design program. Sam Beeler. Mackenzie Downs. Leah Johnson. The following graduates have completed study in the Graphic Design Digital Media Advanced Diploma Program. Jesse Graber. Maddie Krishnamurthy. Eva Nish. Marlena Temporero. Varun Vasant.
Following graduates have completed study in the video game art program. Andrew Britton. Nicole Doherty, honors. Kira Dowdell. Michael Pelche.
The following students have graduated from the Adventure Recreation and Parks Technician Program. Michaela Victoria Celine Hines, honors. Kyle Joseph Oline. Kyla Refru. The following students have graduated from the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Technician Program. Nolan Benoit, distinction. Vanessa Mara Brous. Jason Crack, distinction. Morgan Shayna Fa Bocart. Honors. Danny From, honors. Stephen William Hollingsworth. Rebecca Jackson. Levi Laundrie. Samantha Lynn Nyman. following students have graduated from the Forestry Technician Conservation Program. Pacey Kixey. Kendra Agnes Veronica Levesque. Megan Rattel. The following students have graduated from the Natural Environment Technician Conservation and Management Program. Brandon Bradley Boyer. Ruth Joseph, distinction. Brock Roth, honors. Bailey Kennedy Tang, honors. The following students have graduated from the Natural Environment Technologist, Conservation and Management Program. Joshua Hugh Brooks, honors. Stephanie Ann Donison, distinction. Denise Johnson Amikwe, honors. Nicholas Norman Levine. Joshua Everett Wilson. The following students have graduated. I'll start again. The following students have graduated from Natural Resource Environmental Law Inspection and Enforcement Program. Ariel Lukic. Melissa Jane Onlock. Jessica Rose Pelche.
The following graduate has completed study in the Building Maintenance and Construction Program, Crystal Smoke. The following graduates have completed study in the Food Service Worker Program, Carrie Barnum, honors. Deborah Helene Langille, honors. Anna Maria McKinley, distinction. The following graduate has completed study in the Human Resource Practices program. Lisa Harvey, honors. The following graduate has completed study in the Project Management program. Katie Elizabeth Paquette, distinction.
Please join me in saluting the graduating class of 2018. Before we hear from the Obadjuan singers and Buading community jingle dress dancers who will send their graduates on their way, I would like to invite you all, together with your classmates, friends, and professors, after the ceremony in the Common Link just outside the gymnasium. We would like to express our thanks to the Sault College culinary faculty and staff for preparing and serving refreshments. Dr. Common?
Now the words you've all been waiting for. I hereby declare the convocation to be closed. Please remain seated till the platform party leaves.
tall or I'll duck.
She's going to bring maintenance in here, and what she thinks Dr. Clement wanted to do is, I think they were worried how it didn't look very full. So. Yes, it did. I just said I'd ask. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Thank you.